This is my 2021 C8 Corvette. I've had this Corvette for just over 3 years now, and in today's video I'm going to do an overview of all of the modifications that I've done to this car. The very first modification I've done to this car is these new set of wheels. I never liked the factory wheels. I didn't like the way they looked, and I found they were tucked in too much. But these ones sit perfectly flush, which I like. So these wheels are from Avante. They're an M520R, and the thing I like about them is they're the exact same size as factory. So in the front we've got 19 by 8.5, and in the rear we've got 20 by 11s. So the size is the same, bolt pattern is the same, center bore is the same. The only thing that's different is the offset. So whereas the factory offset is 64 in the back, this one's a 40, meaning this one sticks out 24 millimeters or 1 inch over factory, and I think it just gives it a perfect stance. So the tires are factory. All I did is just swap out the rims. You can just see just how flush they sit, and like I said, factory tires, all I did is replace the wheels, and these wheels are same spec as the factory. The only difference is it has a slightly more aggressive offset. So as I mentioned in the rear, that is a 40 offset. I believe these are a 30 offset, whereas factory is a 54 or something like that. So the fronts stick out 23 millimeters more than factory, and in the rears they stick out 24 millimeters more than factory. So one of the things I get asked about these wheels is, does it rub when I turn? And the answer is no. Under hard turning, this wheel with this offset, the tires do not rub. So don't be concerned about that. It's a perfect fitment. It fits perfect. No rubbing issues at all. Absolutely love this wheel. I'm actually thinking of putting on a wider set of tires. So these are 305, and like I said earlier, these are the factory tires. All I did is swap the rims and put the factory tires on those. And I could probably go maybe a little bit wider. This is a 305, maybe a 315. So these are 20 by 11, same as factory. And you could probably put a wider tire on that. I just want it to like maybe just poke out just a tiny bit in the back, give it more of an aggressive look. And I'm also thinking of adding some mud guards back here, something really small and simple, because I do like how the tire is more prominent now, because they do stick out an inch more, which I think is perfect, because as you can see, it lines up with the fender perfect. But because of the design of the car, it kind of comes down like this, so I think a little mud flap here would look really nice. Plus, I really like the design of these rims. I think it complements the car really well. I like how it has all these sharp edges, kind of matches the styling of the car. And this one comes in a gloss black. It's a really nice looking, beautiful set of rims. So that was the first mod that I've done on my car. The second mod, and probably the one I get asked about the most, is the spoiler. So this spoiler is custom made from Competition Carbon. I first saw it online when I saw a wide body kit that Competition Carbon was working on, and they had this exact same spoiler on their concept car. And so I reached out to Competition Carbon because I couldn't see that you could order it on their website. And so I reached out to them through Instagram, told them I really like the spoiler. Can you send me a quote, ship it to me? And they did, and I absolutely love this spoiler. I think it looks really nice. Gives it a really nice aggressive look. I think it matches the car beautifully. Fitment was perfect. Just see, it's kind of subtle. It's not overpowering like the high wing. So this is why I didn't get the C51 package, because I knew I was going to replace the spoiler. And I think that looks really, really sharp. I've noticed Competition Carbon has a different style wicker. It's kind of similar to this, but it's more rounded out. I kind of personally like this a lot more, the sharp edges. I think it looks really nice on the car. So that spoiler, like I said, is from Competition Carbon. And really happy. So that was the second mod that I've done to this car. Okay, now moving on to the front. I added this front splitter. So this one I got off Amazon. It comes in a gloss black. It's a 3-piece, just like the factory. And it bolts on really easy. Basically using the factory screws. And I really like how it gives it a really subtle, more aggressive look. It does give it a more aggressive, subtle look, I think. I think it looks really nice. Fitment was perfect. So I thought that was a really nice touch. Super easy to install. And you know, it just makes the car look lower in the front. And I like how it's gloss black to match. I know the Z51 comes in this kind of a matte finish, but I do like the gloss black quite a bit better. Like I said, 3-piece, uses the factory screws, and I got it on Amazon. Okay, moving on to the side. The next modification I've done to my car is these rocker panels. These are kind of more of a Z06 style, where they kind of flare out here towards the front. I got these from Extreme Online Sports, and the fitment, as you can see, it's pretty much perfect. It looks like it's factory, actually. I'm really happy how that came out. You can just see just how much more it sticks out from there. Give you another shot from the rear. I really like how it came out. And this one was painted in carbon flash. Whereas the front splitter was gloss black, this is carbon flash, so it has a bit of that metallic in it to match the body. So I'd say the quality, excellent, fitment, it's like perfect and reasonably priced. And I really like the look of those side skirts. Let's go take a look on the other side. Like, it just makes the car look a little lower, more aggressive. It's very subtle, but has a nice impact. Okay, I've done one other modification to the body, and that's on the rear. So working towards the back. I installed these set of diffusers. I got these off eBay. These come in a gloss black. The thing I really like about these diffusers is it's a 1-piece, right? So what I did originally I bought these 4 individual fins that you screw onto the mesh, and I didn't like them because it would have all these little gaps where the fin comes up against the bumper. You can never get a truly perfect fit. Plus, it was a pain in the ass to install. Whereas this one, basically just a 1-piece, you just put on. I just put some double-sided tape, screwed it from the bottom, solid, and I think it looks really nice, really aggressive. And I like how it's got this opening here, where you can see that exhaust, which I'll get to in a second. There's another look. I really do like the style of this diffuser quite a bit. It does give it a really nice aggressive look in the back. So that's the diffuser off eBay. Okay, as for this diffuser, like I said, it was a perfect fitment. The only thing that I've done differently is I added a long bead of double-sided tape here. It was about 1 inch thick. The instructions didn't add for double-sided tape, but I just felt like it would make it a lot more sturdier, and now I feel like I've done too much of a good job, because I don't know how I would ever remove this if I had to. Not that I'm ever planning to, but just keep that in mind. Maybe for next time, what I should have done, maybe just put a little bead of double-sided tape just here, but I put it all the way here, and I think I put some here too. So this thing is not going anywhere. It just looks so cool. I just love the way it looks. Those fins that I got, I returned them because they were garbage. You had all these gaps. It was a pain to install. And I felt like if you were backing up to something, those fins are going to push on this mesh. It's going to damage this mesh here. But I like this. It's just one piece. The only thing you got to look out for is when you back up, make sure your curb isn't too high. So I try to stay away from it. So that's the only downside, is just parking, because it does sit a bit lower. But man, just look at that diffuser. It just looks so nice, so aggressive. Okay, moving on to the interior. I've done a couple of modifications on the interior. I'll start with this piece right here. So around the speedometer, I put on this carbon fiber piece, gloss black. Fitment was absolutely perfect. I really like that little pop of carbon fiber on the interior. I think it just looks so good on this car. The fitment was just perfect, and it feels really nice, looks really nice too. Gives that little piece of carbon fiber on the interior. I think it makes the interior look more sporty, that little touch of carbon fiber. So I have a little bit of carbon fiber here, and I've added carbon fiber back here. So this piece matches the one that's around the speedometer. It's the exact same pattern and finish. It's got a really nice gloss black finish to it. Feels really smooth. Fitment on this piece was perfect. I think it looks really nice. And I think this was a perfect spot to put a little bit of piece of carbon fiber. So as I'm walking up to the car, you know, I can see inside, and I can see this carbon fiber right here. So it's very prominent out here. It looks really nice. Fitment was really like perfect. Had no issues with the install. As you can see, it looks like it came with the car. There's a perfect finish on it. No blemishes on it. And I like how the pattern on this piece and the pattern on this piece are identical. So I didn't go too crazy with the carbon fiber. I don't like little pieces of carbon fiber here and there. You know, I just like them in small areas and large pieces. So I like this because it's a large piece, and this here was also a large piece, and I think that just kind of ties them together. So that's all I've really done on the interior. I was planning to replace the steering wheel with a carbon fiber steering wheel, so that might be one other thing that I'm going to be doing in the future. And so the steering wheel that I was looking at was perforated black leather on the sides and carbon fiber on the top and bottom. So that might be one of my next modifications to this car. Overall, I really like the interior of this car. After I ordered my car with the red interior, I had second doubts. I thought it might be just too much red. But I think it's just beautiful. I think the interior on this car is just perfect. Okay, so that's it for my interior modifications. I haven't done really any performance modifications other than the catback exhaust, but I did replace the air filter with a blue ATAC high performance filter. And I feel like that filter does give the car a little bit more intake noise, and it seems to pull a little bit harder on the top end. So I think that was a really good modification, that blue ATAC air filter. The last modification is this exhaust, which I think is the best thing that I've done to this car. So this exhaust is a catback system from 2M Fabrication. So everything else is stock. I've got stock headers, stock cats. It's just a catback exhaust that I've replaced. And the sound, my God, it just sounds amazing. So there's a look at the 2M back there. It's a really high quality piece. I was considering AWE, Paragon, Borla, but I just found the prices were kind of outrageous, and I saw this one reasonably priced, and I think quality is actually better. The tubing that 2M uses looks much better. There's less welds. The cross beam is basically the X piece in the middle is basically one piece. So the quality is really nice, and then you can order the style of tips. So they come in a 4-inch, either a black, gloss black, or a polished. I went with the polished just because I really like the contrast between the stainless steel and the black. And I don't know if you can see this on the video, but the heat shield that was back there, that's not factory silver. I painted that black to make these stick out more. So I really love this exhaust, because that was my biggest complaint when I bought this car, is just how quiet the factory exhaust is. But now this 2M Fabrication exhaust just sounds incredible. Take a closer look in here. You can see that exhaust back there. I installed it myself. It took me about a good day, but anyone can do it. So check out 2M Fabrication. Highly recommend this exhaust. So I'll go ahead and start it up so you can just hear how good this exhaust sounds. Well, I like to think all the modifications I've done has really enhanced the look of the car. They're all subtle changes. You know, I didn't go with anything extreme. Like the lip spoiler, it's not that extreme. You know, it looks, I've seen some designs that are much more extreme, but this one looks pretty modest. Same with these side skirts. Nothing crazy, just modest. Really nice. Spoiler, I mean, the high-rise spoiler I think is a bit too much for me. I kind of like this. It's more subtle. Same with the diffuser. I think overall, when you put all these things together, I think it just kind of changes the look of the car, especially with those wheels. Those wheels, in my opinion, give it the most dramatic change. They look nice. It gives it a much nicer stance. Matches the car. It looks way better. And this car with a ZR1 hood, my God, that would look pretty insane. So the startup on this is really nice. It's not like obnoxious, it sounds really good in my opinion. So let's just go ahead, start her up.